What am I doing?
Now then.
Here I go!
Now then. Beautiful.
Ooh, their chain is better form this time.
Magnificent. Exquisite. Dazzling.
Oh, I caught! I caught!
Here I go!
Darn it. I thought it was fine. But everything mashed together.
Now then.
Let's see if I can go in reverse. I've done it before, just not as exquisitely.
Now then.
Let's do a tiny harassment.
Beautiful.
Here I go!
Gorgeous.
Here I go!
Now then. Hurry. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Ooh, the Hellfire finish.
Exquisite.
Oh, that Hellfire finished me off. Damn. In a pinch? Oh, it's a rematch.
Are you prepared?
I'll show you. I'll show you what my practice has gotten me. Nowhere.
Here it comes! Run! Scorch! Stunning it up! You like that? Eyelashes!
Lipstick! Faith present! Gel! Spa package! Deluxe spa package!
No! Someone owes me an apology. I knew I'd win!
Alright, let's do it again.
Here it comes! Stop it!
It's fine.
Here it comes!
Still fine for now.
Here it comes! You like that?
Oh, they broke up their chain so miserably. Why?
No!
What's happening here?
You like that? You like that?
What's happening over there? I didn't get that at all.
Apology. I knew I'd win.
I think my assessment was right. They, like, stacking willy-nilly could get you a good 4 to 6 chain, but like, you can't build off that. It might be show.
It's potion time.
Let's get to work. Whoa!
What are they doing?
Backhand slip bit special. Oh no! Lightning drop. Hey! Lightning drop. Swing in.
Meteor shower.
Swing in. Hey!
Whoa, what is that mess happening over there? What was that?
What an easy win.
Welcome to GXP Streams. The side quest-a-thon continues because it seems like Brian is going through side quests galore on Zorlda. But you know what? We're not playing Zelda. We're playing Final Fantasy 16. That means the side quests have to be meaningful, right? Right? Zoom in on me.
You alright? About that.
If there's anything I can do to help you kill this Ultima Blood, just say the word, eh? You could promise to take Sid's name off my hands.
Aye.
Don't even joke about that. Anyway, I thought you said you hadn't finished with it yet. I did, didn't I? Now, if you wanted to give me an even grander title, something to rival your Sid the Outlaw, that'd be a different story.
Let's see.
Gav the Magnificent, Gav the Almighty, Gav the Lionheart, something along those lines. I'll leave that for you to decide. I'm sure you're more than capable of choosing the perfect moniker for Sid's right-hand man.
Something troubling you?
No more than usual. It's just... Eda's baby will be coming soon and I wanted to make something for it.
I'm sure she'd like that.
Back in the north, families would always make gifts when a bairn was on the way. Let the little tykes know they were welcome in their new homes like.
So, what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that Eda's due any day now. I don't know if I'll be ready in time.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You know, just
So I looked it up, and I'm always trying to look for ways
What
for the
exactly
channel
are
to
we
grow,
making?
or even like to get
a good luck charm,
money
but not
being
just
in the channel.
any good luck
And
charm.
apparently, we have to have 1,000
just any.
concurrent viewers in order to get sponsored by G
One
Fuel.
made from the
And I'm like,
feather of a silver
I mean,
chocolate
Brian
ball.
already drinks it, and I'm willing to
There's
add
not
caffeine to my
looking
life
all
if,
around
you know,
the world.
if
So
we actually
we
end
used
up
to
being
say back
sponsored
home
by them.
anyway. Thing is, they're hard to come by. Had Otto and Karen check with their suppliers, but nothing. Try and track one down myself, only...
Only the big day is fast approaching. And that's all you need. A feather.
That or the bird whose arse it's attached to, aye. I was gonna start by asking around with travelling traders plying the northern borders.
Yeah.
Well, there's no shortage of those passing through Martha's. I think I might make that my first port of call. I'll let
You
know
need
if I find
1,000
anything.
concurrent average
Your good
viewers,
friend Clive.
or have 50,000
I won't
subscribers on
forget
YouTube,
this.
or have 100,000 followers on TikTok, or over 100,000 followers on Instagram. Sponsor me! I'm enjoying a little dark chocolate this afternoon.
Let's hope one of the merchants here has what Gav needs. Excuse me. I'm looking for something.
Oh, well, then I'm your man.
A silver chocobo feather.
A silver
Or
chocolate.
maybe not. Though you're not the first to mention the bird around here. There was a man stopped by the rest not long ago claiming he was attacked by a silver chocobo.
Cool,
Near
we have to
some
fight a
gas
silver
hall
chocobo.
Not far from Eastpool. Most took him for a braggart and a liar, but who knows? Perhaps there was some truth to his tale.
We'll see. Thank you.
Isn't our chocobo silver, or is it just like gray?
We've got a few rooms going spare.
Just because the heavens have gone to reckon round, it doesn't mean we have to.
How do, traveller? You've the look of a man who could do with a new whetstone. Or perhaps a bawdy etching of the Viceroy.
Maybe another time. I'm looking for a silver chocobo.
For all
feather.
we know, as of right now, I think Jill might be pregnant.
Rumours are all you're likely to find. No one has seen a silver chocobo for years. Word is they were all hunted for their feathers. Some northern nonsense about bringing good luck. Didn't bring them much, nor their bows. If any are still out there, I reckon they'll be doing their damnedest not to be discovered.
That's true.
You're probably right. Thank you anyway.
One more.
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Aha. Had a suspicion near the edges.
Can I help you with something?
You wouldn't happen to sell silver chocobo feathers, would you?
I deal in fruit, not fancies. But if it's fancies you're after, I suggest you try Rhiannon's ride.
Was a silver chocobo seen there?
Oh, yes. If you believe the ravings of a madman.
It wouldn't be the first time. A silver chocobo sighted in the hills near Rhiannon's Rye.
Over there.
It sounds almost too good to be true. But since I'm already here,
That's sort of okay. So that's also like why I want to get in on the new Disney TCG that's releasing this month. Unfortunately, there is supply issues across North America because guess what? Disney can't do anything right apparently. I'm not saying like despairingly, but it's just everyone's like, of course they couldn't do this right. And whether or not the game succeeds is based on whether they actually get this supply going. Still want to play it. The Hand of Hyperion. Admittedly, oh, if there was a digital version, I would definitely play that on stream. Should I open packs on camera? Oh, I definitely should. If I ever get packs, I don't even know where to find them.
Tracks. They're not left by bandits for a change.
Yeah, those are chocobo tracks. Once a week affair. Yeah, if I could get a pack, yeah, open one on camera, definitely.
More tracks. And these look fresh. The chocobo was here. And recently. Perhaps it still is. I don't hear anything.
It's my feather now.
Well, I'll be damned.
Will this be the first quest where I don't have to fight something? Well, that's the problem with the set. It's so new. Oh my goodness. There's no... I don't think there's a digital client. People have to like make their way doing that.
It's all right. I'm not going to hurt you. Just borrowing a feather for my friend. Thank you. Let's get this back to Gav before they change their minds.
was no trouble at all.
Still. Clive, you're back. How'd you get on? Any luck?
Any luck, you say?
Have a look.
Crystals crack. Is this what I think it is? Where in the hell did you find it?
It's a long story.
Right there on the road to Eastpool. Who'd have thought it?
Everything up there's been abandoned for years. The empty cabin made for the perfect shelter. Though I fear my presence may have forced the poor creatures to look elsewhere.
Don't blame yourself, Clive. The Blight's right on Eastpool's doorstep. They'd have had to move on before long, even if you hadn't have turned up. They'll find a new home. Trust me. After all, that's what us endangered animals do. Anyway, what matters is, you managed to nick us one of their quills before they could run off. And now all that's left is to fix it to the carving.
I didn't know you could carve.
Reckon there's a lot you don't know about me. Like the fact I'm as good with a whittling knife as I am with a sword. And that bone Ember gave me's a dream to work with. What did you say it was from again? An Avis?
But it weren't your Avis, Sid. I slew one of my own at last.
So all those long nights in the pit finally bore fruit. I'm proud of you, Ember.
Oh, did this quest only pop
Don't
up
speak
after I
too
did?
soon. I ain't done my trial yet.
After I did
There we
his
go.
trip, his quest before? Oh, that's kind of interesting.
What do you think?
I think if you ever hang up your scouting cap, you'll be able to make an honest living.
Now will I? I should go and see if Ed is awake.
Give it my best.
You can give it to yourself. Come on.
I don't want Gav to give up being a scout, honest.
This base is too big.
I was just about to go in. But then I thought it might be better if you went first. What with you being the head of the family and all.
How can I help you, Clive? What I truly like.
Is to share my knowledge of healing and herb lore with the realm. Every cure seems like a miracle to the child who knows nothing of medicine.
But teach her medicine.
And suddenly a world without miracles doesn't seem so frightening.
And no sooner have your wounds mended.
Then you find an excuse to go charging once more onto the breach. But only because my wounds are mended. Thanks to the expert administration of the best healer this side of the belt. Save your honey tongue for Jill. You're talking about killing a god, Clive.
While I may not have Gav's nose.
I know danger when I smell it, and this plan reeks to high heaven. This will be the last time, I promise.
That's what I'm worried about.
You fool. Don't you think I'd rather stitch 1,000 of your cuts than never stitch one again?
I do.
Don't push yourself too hard, Clive.
How's tea stop the fits? I only hope they stay stopped.
Is there aught I might assist you with? My lord.
You're resolved to go then.
I am.
And so is Joshua. I know you fear for him, but I'll do everything in my power to keep him safe.
I do not doubt it.
You are, as you always been, his first shield. I was only ever his temporary protector. Now his grace has bade me protect his highway instead, and that is what I shall do.
Thank you, Yote.
May you return safely. His Grace and I.
Often spoke on our travels, and a certain saying of his remains with me even now. Duty is the enemy of freedom.
At first.
I thought that he spoke of his own plight, that though he was able to roam land again, his duty to unearth the truth about Ultima prevented him from being truly free. But I came to understand that he spoke of not of himself, but of me.
It was my duty to him.
That his grace judged to be inimical on my own freedom. I believe that this is why he bade me remain here, that I might be at last be released from my duty to him. Few others in this position would allow the cares of a humble lieutenant to weigh so heavily upon them, nor take such drastic action in response.
I prithee do not risk yourself unduly.
Ah, me lords.
How are you feeling?
Well, thank you. Is something wrong?
Wrong? No, nothing like that. What it is,
Go on, please. It's beautiful. Did you make it?
we did. Aye. It's from all of us here at the Hideaway. Your new family, like. It's a good luck charm. We may come up north when a band's on the way. I mean a baby. To let him know that they're part of the family too. Oh, I hope you like it.
I don't know what to say. I thank you, my lords, for everything.
If there's anything you need, just let us know.
I will.
Clive, fancy a swift off? I'm thirsty.
I could be convinced.
That was an English idiom. I don't know.
Don't you think you've had enough?
Oh, we're celebrating. I'm gonna be a father.
I think Edda might have something to say about that.
You know what I mean. Bit of light in these dark times. Wasn't long after me 10th name day. My mum told us she was with child again. I was over the fucking moon. I was looking forward to having a little one to lord it over. What with me being the run of the litter.
Just jump into the father role.
Thought I'd finally have a chance to prove to the world that I could be a big brother.
Oh, and they turned out to be a bear, didn't they?
Imperials came the day she went into labour. Had myself a baby sister. And then I didn't. My whole family gone in a blink, while I hid in the cellar like the spineless little arsehole I was. Great brother I turned out to be. I'll never be a leader. And I'll never be a hero. I'm just a daft little dog who comes running when his master calls. I'll never be like you, or Sid, or Jill, or even Torgal.
Have you finished?
Maybe.
Do you know why you're our best scout? Because you don't need anyone to hold your hand. Without your resourcefulness, your courage, your determination, I don't know where we'd be. Maybe hanging off a cliff like,
That was only the once.
Exactly. You learn from it. And here you are after Founder knows how many missions, stronger for everyone. And let's not forget Rosalith. Who was it who freed me from the dungeon? Who was it who ran to Jill's rescue?
That would be me.
Because you're our brother, Gav. My brother.
other.
He's gonna be hammered.
Which means that when the time comes,
I get your room. And your sword. I may have had one too many.
you may have had 10 too many.
I said I was thirsty.
I'm gonna bring out popcorn next time another backstory section
Get back
happens.
to work anyway. After I walk this off. Clive?
What is it?
Thanks for, you know.
I know.
Winter mead. I said I was thirsty.
Do you think they'll come back?
You set on this plan as yours then? I am. You never were one to shy away from a fight. Some might say it runs in the family. Your father will be proud.
Thank you, Uncle.
As for down here...
You may take comfort in the knowledge that the realm may be in my capable hands to your return.
Clive, my boy! Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to get involved, but such are the times we live in, huh?
I would have done the same for anyone else.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me, is the realm truly in as dire a state as Rutherford suggests?
From what little I saw, you were right to be worried.
I suppose I should have expected the worst. But I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things a little more under control. Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply these days, and without it, the people are bound to lose their way. We must move quickly.
But where do we start?
True, the challenges that face us are many, but in my estimation, there are two key areas to be addressed before any other. The realm's armies and her larders. As you've seen firsthand, it's every man and woman for themselves out there. Certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some semblance of order, yes, but such cases are few and far between. And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. A unity that transcends even the borders laid down by our ancestors. In short, if Storm does not stand together, she will fall apart.
But how would one even begin to unite the realm?
The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by restoring order among the ranks of those sworn to maintain it. Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gaggle of privates to dig a latrine together. But I do know someone the High Commanders have been known to listen to on occasion. Field Marshal Eugen Havel.
I thought he was retired.
He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is no man alive more capable. Literally. And as luck would have it, I've already spoken with him on the matter.
Of course you have.
And he's agreed to help. On one condition. That he first speaks with you personally. Havel has always been a man of frustratingly rigid principle, and he has certain qualms about clasping arms with, well, with an outlaw. I extolled your many virtues as best I could, of course, but the old goat was adamant that he be allowed to appraise you in person. You don't mind, do you, my boy?
Of course not. As long as chaos reigns, we will never build a better world. I'll do whatever it takes. And if the Field Marshal wishes to speak with me in person, then so be it.
That's the spirit.
I'll leave for Randalar at once. Would you send a Stolas?
Of course. Rutherford is already in the Dalmekian capital. I'll have him tell Havel to expect you forthwith.
Excellent. Thank you, Uncle.
No, thank you, Clive.
Three's Company 2. Do-do-do-do-do.
What are you looking for? A fine choice. Many thanks. You've a discerning eye. May Gilbert smile upon you.
All the way over there, huh? Let's do it.
Do you see that too?
Just got outside massage.
What is it? Please, just make it stop. I'm scared. It's all right.
Straight away.
Can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you! If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you shall have!
Allow me.
I don't need your...
Please, Field Marshal. Oblige him. This won't take long.
You're right. It won't. Men, finish him.
I got a twofer. Okay, he was immediately angry.
A little longer than I'd have liked. Field Marshal Havel, I presume. Are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived just as our escort turned on us.
Fucking traitors. I'd heard reports of soldiers in the outlying regions abandoning the oaths they swore. But I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close to the heart of the Republic. It's a fucking disgrace. Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis. Or is Sid the Outlaw more to your liking?
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree to anything, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to gain from all this?
I won't deny that I might benefit from further chaos. But I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been told how we could live, how we could die, when it should have been our decision.
I'm getting feelings just like playing Xenosaga, where the cutscenes just keep going.
We have a chance to put things right. But in order to take it, we must stand together. Even if it be beside those with whom we don't see eye to eye.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. But perhaps your uncle was right. You are no ordinary outlaw. I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the Dalmekian fringes under control. Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and restore order in their own territory.
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need to convince.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals, but those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. And when it comes to honeyed words, we will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of statesmen. You, perhaps.
I'm flattered. But I'm no diplomat either. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator. I may know just the person.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw too?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well. Send your man to me right away.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis. Your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his manor in Port Isolde.
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I'm not sure I'm the man to talk anyone round. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. This is a job for someone with experience. Someone like Quentin. I hope I can convince him at least.
Loot the body! Ooh, box! Loot the bodies! Hell yeah. reminder. Oh wait, is our giveaway updated? Let me check our Nightbot. Nightbot. Because I think our giveaway is for a copy of Myst. I'll get clarification soon. But in the meantime, go, go, go!
Quentin, I have a proposal for you.
Do you now? Something tells me you'll be asking more of me than a cask of Gotand gold. Go on then. Propose. You'd have me convince the chiefs and chamberlains of the realm that they should simply swallow their pride and do the one thing that has proved impossible for thousands of years. Was there anything else? Perhaps I can fetch you a meat pie as well.
I know it's a lot to ask, but I can think of none better suited to the role.
And you'd have me give up what little I have left to do it. I told you, Clive. The people of Lostwing are my family, and I cannot abandon them. You'll have to find someone else.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So am I.
And why might that be?
What he's asking. How's it any different to what you've done so far? They want you to speak for those who can't speak for themselves. That's what you do best. If it's the vineyard you're worried about, we'll see that the grapes are picked and the tons filled. You know we will.
It's not that.
Then what is it? You said yourself we're family. Don't you trust us?
You know that's not what I'm...
Then what are you saying? That only we are worth saving? Why turn your back on everyone else? You convinced us we could build new lives for ourselves, and if you can do that, who's to say you couldn't convince the entire realm?
A stirring argument. I fear that any rejoinder I make might fall somewhat flat by comparison.
So you'll join us?
Where do you need me?
Field Marshal Havel will want to speak with you in person. He's currently in Port Isolde. I can arrange for a party of Cursebreakers to accompany you there.
That would be very much appreciated. I hear the roads are far from safe these days.
Hopefully not for long. My uncle will want to know that his plan is taking shape.
Back home we go. Don't forget the 3 hunts we have to do. Oh boy.
Uncle, I bring good news. The Field Marshal has agreed to your plan.
Of course he has. I didn't doubt you for a moment, dear boy.
Rutherford is accompanying him back to your manor in Port Isolde as we speak. They will await your return there. As will one other.
One other? Who, exactly?
Lord Havel was concerned that even if he could get the realm's armies to agree to an accord, he might not be as successful in convincing those with political power. He asked if I might have a solution, and
I think this is gonna become a bit if I keep playing RPGs with longer cutscenes. Just you watching them with you guys.
Master Quinton would probably call me one of his. But yes.
Another outlaw, then. Just the thing we need to put these rotten politicos in their places. Good thinking, Clive.
I'm glad you approve.
The more the merrier, eh?
Uncle, assuming Havel and Quinton can solve our problem with the armies, you still haven't mentioned how we might manage the grain shortages.
Oh, don't you worry, my boy. The 7 high houses will be seeing to that. They have all agreed to make the most generous of donations. Oh, of course, it did take a little persuasion, but luckily I had some unexpected help.
From who?
Why, you, my boy. Rumor has it that you rescued the Lady Ariane's head steward Rockford from a horde of bloodthirsty bandits.
It was more of a handful.
Well, the old battle axe was so pleased. She had a shipload of talents delivered to my private docks by the next new moon. And when the other houses saw the parsimonious old crone's purse strings finally loosen, they as good as tripped over themselves in the rush to follow suit.
I'm happy to hear it.
Now, I must be getting back to the manor. Join us there at your earliest convenience, would you?
Of course, Uncle.
We actually get to watch this.
And how, pray tell, will we get that grain to the capital if the roads are still overrun with a Kashik?
You'll find another bloody road. I only have so many men, and I'm not about to send them headlong into an ether flood. That is, unless you'd have them turn as well.
Well, I'd certainly eat less.
Says the man with a belly bigger than a band of curls. My soldiers actually need their rations. Without any food to keep them going, they'll be dead even before you've sent them on your fool's errand.
If I may, gentlemen, perhaps I might suggest an alternative approach. Though supply routes are indeed disrupted, there is no shortage of ships. Indeed, they bob away in every bay from here to Randalar, awaiting a safe haven. Allow them to make port and fill their bellies full of grain. And once those who crowd the cities are fed, ferry the displaced back to the countryside to work the fallow fields. But I'm sure that you wish to continue your discussion. Forgive the interruption. 2 such firm friends as yourselves need no help from the likes of me. Rutherford spoke fondly of the great bond between you.
Us? Friends? I can't stand the man.
Clive, I'm beginning to question the quality of the company you keep.
And what kind of company were you expecting him to keep? The man's a criminal.
Criminal? How dare you? You are not fit to breathe the same air as this fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Upstanding? He calls himself Sid the bloody outlaw.
Once more onto the breach.
Not so subtle cough.
Shall we begin again? What we seek here is not to create a new nation, nor to claim the thrones of those that already exist. We wish simply to bring stability to the realm that mankind might weather the current storm. And to do that, we must convince those in power, the generals, the statesmen, the nobles, that our cause is just. There will be disagreements, yes, and I imagine some resistance, much resistance. But we cannot let that deter us. If we show them the path, show them that we walk it ourselves, then I am confident they will follow. The fate of the world lies in my nephew's hands, but the well-being of her people lies in ours. And we must not squander the chance that Clive has given us.
Uncle Byron,
Now, with that settled, let's move on to the signing of the Accord. For what great moment in history hasn't been accompanied by a little ceremony? Citizens of Valisthea, I present to you the Tri-Unity. Rutherford, my quill.
Not quite a title that rolls off the tongue, but you know what?
Well, my boy, the stage is set.
That it is.
This is the role you were born for. Now I ask only that you trust in the talents of your supporting cast. We shall play our parts to the best of our abilities, that you might have the opportunity to shine. The realm needs its Sir Crandall, and there is no better Crandall than you, Clive. I want you to keep this signed accord as proof of our faith in you.
I will. Thank you, Uncle.
That's a lot of experience. No more quests left except our mail.
Sorry. Can't take you where you need to get to. But the Argo and me will be waiting when you get back.
What do you think that thing is?
Nothing new at the blacksmithy yet. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Here, not long removed from when you last placed yourself between us and peril, I sit and pen yet another letter in which I try to find the words to somewhat express the gratitude of the entire town. Still, something feels different about our latest triumph. Where in the past we leaned ever so heavily on your good graces, this time we found strength elsewhere, in ourselves. Our hardship has shown us that which we should have been apparent all along. We are not as different as we want to believe. Does a peasant love his homeland any less than a noble? Does a bearer love his family any less than any other man who does his own? It is this love that has united and has given us true strength. Should every thrall, Akashic bandit, and brigand in the realm come charging out our gates, we will not fret, we will not falter, we will fight. And we will win. What? You didn't think I was just gonna say stuff that's have a hide in my engine, did you? Do what you know, I've already a fine spot picked out and everything. But if you're gonna go on this grand adventure, you'll need to be quick about your business with that ready god of yours. Take too long and something else more clever that might beat you to the prize. I suppose in that case I should bury you one of my lesser inventions. God knows I have countless. Do you remember what you told me that night at Phoenix Gate? That while the fate of Rosaria sits on my shoulders, the fate of its dominance sits upon yours. We are not both dominants of fire. Does not the flame of our forebears burn in both our hearts? Should I not protect you as you have protected me? You have chosen to be my shield, now let me choose to be yours. Is this not what our father wanted, what Sid wanted? To cast aside fate and forge our own paths? Grant me this, Clive, let me be your strength. Edda seems fond of the silver bow we gave her, so much so that she's been taken to setting it atop her belly as she rests. To hear her tell it, the rascal kicks something fierce when she does too. Sounds like we have another fighter on their hands, and none too soon. I can hardly wait to teach our newest little curse breaker everything I know. Though, I suppose we can all celebrate first. No need to get ahead of ourselves now. Okay, let's do this. In case you haven't noticed, your poor hound spends all this time late on the rear deck whimpering like Gavin in his cups. Something ain't right, and my gut tells me not to do with the supply of antelope bones.
What is it this time, Torgal?
First the skies.
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen herself.
What's he staring at?
Pining for something, boy. What is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
How long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from doing it.
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor whelp losing his loving masters at such a young age. Doubly hard in being a frost wolf, torn away from his icons and all. Sid would always tell him, you want my iron gone, you find what it is you're looking for. I reckon what he was looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so long. Let's get that thing off you.
Doesn't sound like he wants it off.
Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
At least they animated the shadow of him barking.
Quick, aren't you? Glad you've been paying attention.
Not nearly as much as you have, Lady Karen.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nuts and rubbed his belly these past 10 summers.
Your kindness is appreciated. You've been a good friend to him.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you. Go on now.
Where to then, Torgal? All right, Torgal. Where are you taking me? I'm going to need a little bit more than that, boy. Do you have a better hint for me? Unless you've already given me one. Back on the rear deck, you were looking west, toward Rosaria. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't been to the island in almost 20 years. To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there.
Here we go! Pew, 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 pew. A box! Hell yeah.
It's still here. After all these years. A lot smaller than I remember. And you're a lot bigger. You might have to swim, boy. I wasn't being serious.
You two go on without me. I doubt that boat will hold a third.
If you're sure, we won't be long. Hop in, boy.
I guess the scene would have been different if Joshua wasn't here, right? He wouldn't even say anything, obviously, but that makes me wonder if the Jill thing would have kicked in if the next quest involving Jill, she's in the party.
This place hasn't changed at all.
Oh, wow. Mist, we're giving a copy away this month for a collection of Mist games.
Race you there? I bet I could still beat you. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal?
I would have thought. I mean, you'd have to boat here to live here, but someone could have squatted in here.
Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy? This is all from the castle. And Phoenix Gate.
Oh, it looks like Torgal is grabbing stuff over time.
You bring these here. My sparring sword. Well, well. You never stopped looking for me, did you, boy? Thank you, Torgal, for never giving up, for never forgetting. Let's take this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either. That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. Right,
I know.
Right. I'm coming.
Box! Even as a kid, he had 10 sharp fangs, huh? Yeah, you could crash here for a while. I guess. No, not against rain, though.
I think I know where we're going.
Felt the vibration of the controller for a bit. Resolved sigh.
People always talk about the importance of putting the past behind you. But without it, we wouldn't be who we are today. And we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal. Let's go home.
Well, increases the Torgal's attack potency. Even a legendary king, surrounded by the realm's greatest knights and blessed by the very heavens, would have found himself hard-pressed to unite the warring tribes against ancient Valestii. Fortunately, he had the help of his fine and trusty hand Cavall.
Sorry for the wait. We're ready.
I don't really need to care about Gil right now, so I'll put that on. So there's 2 more quests at home, and then these 2 quests out here. And then there's 3 hunts. I'm hoping to do as much as I can before today's over. Bringing together 3 men from differing backgrounds was not to be without some difficulty. However, come together we did for a better FSD. The triunity was but a first step. A longer, more bitter journey awaits us all, one that will almost certainly end in hardship. Yet, what matters most is not the destination, but what we can learn from each other, one another while on the road there. You have paved that road for us with the courage, Clive. Now we must have the courage to walk it. The 2 of you have been together for what probably feels like a lifetime now, but there's still a lot you have to learn from that hound of yours. Aye, he'd step in front of a bloody raging behemoth if it meant protecting you, but that don't mean you should take it for granted. At the end of the day, he's a hound, and sometimes he just wants someone to pat his head and rub his belly and give him a handful of Kupo nuts. You do good to remember that. Though her Akon brought her much suffering, the loss of Shiva weighs heavily on her heart, and we would be poor friends indeed if we were not seek that light and burn. Even but only a fraction before we depart for the skies. I will speak on this more in private.
If Joshua's worried about Jill, I should go and speak with him.
Is Jill still on the balcony? Yeah, she is.
Clive, do you have a moment?
Of course. Always.
I wanted to give you something.
Is this?
I stitched it from the cloth you gave Hortense. The piece she said you liked best. I told her I used to enjoy needlework, but I didn't think she'd remember.
It's beautiful, Jill. You didn't have to.
When I was very little, I recall my mother telling me that young ladies of the court would give knights ribbons from their hair before they went off to war. I still wear mine, so I made you this instead. White is the color of faith. Faith in your friends, your family, your purpose. Unblemished, unfeigned. Just like my faith in you.
Our faith.
Yeah, give it to him good.
May it ever steer us true.
And may it ever bring you back to me. I will always, always be here.
Thank you, Jill.
Curiosity. Oh, it better not be a crafting item.
It's not time yet, is it? Somewhere in the back of my mind.
I always knew it would come to this. It was only gonna ever end this way, Jill. Either Ultima dies or we do.
I know.
But I still don't think I'm ready for it, and the thought of what you have to do makes me want to cry. Then cry, shout, scream, laugh, do whatever you feel. Our feelings make us who we are, make us better than Ultima.
Thank you.
But a long time ago I swore that only the stars would see me cry.
And so for now?
I'll save my tears until the clouds part and the heavens return.
Right.
Like, doing all these side quests, I think will potentially give me all the items I need to make my last weapon.
Joshua, I read your message. You're right.
Yeah, she's giving me
I
gifts.
don't think I'd realized how different, but since we returned from Drake's spine, I've felt it more and more.
I suppose it's not hard to imagine why.
She doesn't think she belongs anymore.
And that's why we need to remind her she is still one of us. To let her know that we still need her, now more than ever. That you still need her. But how to do that? When last we were truly close, we were but children.
Of course. Do you remember the time we accompanied Father on his annual tour of the Duchy? And Jill and I broke from the procession to ride up Man's Hill.
To see the snow daisies, I remember. It was the first time Father had allowed us to join him. And when he realized you were missing, he had the entire retinue down to the Pop Boys combing the countryside.
In the rain. A thunderstorm forced us to take refuge in a grove of oaks before we'd even made it halfway there. It was the Lord Commander who finally found us, and needless to say, he was none too pleased.
And it seems you and Jill have unfinished business. What do you say?
Man's Hill. It's not that far.
True. Though I suspect it is also much changed. Little in southern Rosaria remains as it was when we were children.
Filled with monsters.
You're saying I should go and scout the area for bandits?
I'm saying we should first go and see if there are actually still any snow daisies left. What would you do without me, Clive?
Do you think they'll come back?
One of these days. One of these days, I swear it's gonna be me who drinks you under the table.
If by under the table you mean retching on my boots half the night, I reckon one of those days was yesterday.
Ha ha, you think you're so funny. But just wait till we crack open the bottle I left in your chambers. That stuff's strong enough to burn the horns of a behemoth.
Sounds like I'll be needing some new boots.
Here we go! Monsters everywhere! Monster, monster, monster! Doesn't look like it. Everything's dead.
This is the place, but
I'm sorry, Clive.
there's nowhere been spared. What do we do now?
We keep looking. Man's Hill cannot be the only place where snow daisies grow.
Perhaps, but it's the only place I know of. Knew of.
Then why not ask someone who might know of another?
Someone in the backyard. To the hideaway, then. Let's hope one of the gardeners knows where to find snow daisies.
Say what you will. Lady Karen seems... Bless your toy.
You. Yeah, you.
Oh. What brings you down from the heavens, Sid?
I need your advice. Joshua and I are looking for a place where snow daisies grow. Preferably in abundance.
Snow daisies. Then you'll want somewhere not too hot and not too cold. And where the winds are strong enough to carry the seeds. I reckon Man's Hill would be a good place to start. There in the Royal Meadows, perhaps? Both have similar climbs and the right elevation. If the Blight hasn't claimed them yet.
Right. Thank you.
Did you learn where we might find our flowers?
The gardener here mentioned the royal meadows in Sembrak.
Ah, the fields beyond Northreach. Well, if that's the case, then Yote was right. I recalled that she kept a record of our travels, you see. So I asked her if she'd perhaps noted anywhere that snow daisies grew, and she mentioned Boilerfeist Bay.
Whose shores border the meadows. Off we go then.
Such violence. Here we go! Here we go, here we go! Where is it? Over there. Okay.
Got any more of those special elixirs?
Oh, I went the wrong way. Son of a...
No need to ride from here.
I'm just in a snacky mood today, sorry. Just haven't had dinner yet and we're getting on a day.
That fool of a jig.
Okay, no more dark chocolate. It'll ruin me. I'll stick to my admittedly very sweet coffee. Whoever's watching, all you, let me know in the chat what ratio of cream, sugar, of dairy, sweetener base to coffee do you enjoy? It also counts if you get tea. Fly away from the raptors.
The meadows are vast. Where do we even start?
Yote mentioned the coastline. We can start there.
Personally, I go for triple triples. I'm trying to wean that off to 3x2, so it's like 3 dairy, 2 sweet.
See, boy.
It's an immortal. Worse.
Let's hope this is the last one.
Only one way to find out.
This one. Oh, Dave.
Oh, come on. still extra ads to go. That's a stylish shot right there. Yoink.
That was harder than I expected. But found her. It was worth it. They're beautiful.
Do you think Jill will like them?
She'll love them. Come on. Let's go.
Am I bringing them to her, or she's coming back here with us?
It appears my work is done. The rest, as they say, is up to you. Well, you and the skies. We wouldn't want another thunderstorm now, would we?
Jill, we're going on a date. Let's go.
There's something I'd like to show you.
There is? And where might this something be?
It's, not here. Now, I know this is sudden, but how would you fancy a trip to Oriflamme?
He's like, what? Why? What?
There are so many. This is what you wanted to show me. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. The smile on your face is enough. We've been worried about you. Joshua and I. Do you remember when I took you to Man's Hill? Or tried to?
How could I forget? You saw me crying and thought a change of scenery might lift my spirits. In the end, it earned me a nasty cough and a stern scolding from your mother. But I felt wonderful nonetheless.
I'm sorry. I had no idea what I was getting us both into. But I couldn't bear to see you like that.
Before we left, my chambermaid told me she'd overheard your mother talking about my marriage prospects with some of the noblewomen at court. They were debating whether it would be more profitable to marry me off to one of the high houses instead of saving me for the ducal line. No one thought to ask me what I wanted. I was nothing to them. A pawn at best. I felt so trapped. So lonely.
I didn't know.
But I wasn't alone. You were there. Your hand in mine as we ran for those oaks. And I knew then, no matter what happened, I would be all right. I'll never forget that feeling.
They're gonna kiss again.
Before we broke camp, the morning after the storm, do you know what I did? slipped away from my governess to climb the tor. And from there I saw a sea of petals, all reaching for the sun. And I realized that no matter how terrible the night, dawn would always come.
Children.
That you would always come for me. And you have. Again and again.
Where do you see us?
Oh my goodness.
When all this is over.
I don't know. Not here, though. I think I've outgrown the twins. After everything we've been through, the realm just seems so small. I'll need some space to spread my wings.
Then that's what you'll have. And I'll stop at nothing to see that you do.
Oh my god. Look away, youngins.
I never was much good at garlands, but it'll have to do.
I'll treasure it forever.
Thank you, Clive. For this, the flowers, for everything. It's exactly what I needed. You are my treasure.
Don't ruin the mood and say quest complete right here.
We should probably be getting back. I expect the others are wondering where we are.
You're right. There's still much to do.
And we'll do it together.
Okay, as long as it wasn't during that scene. Shiva's kiss. Okay, she does join the party if you do that quest. Three more to go!
Brother, I put Father's helm in your chambers. He should be with you when his vision is finally realized.
Thank you, Joshua. For everything.
Don't mention it. Brother.
He always tried to spur me on, to give me courage. I knew his words were meant with kindness, but as a boy, they cut me deeply. How keenly they made me feel my own weakness, my own inadequacy. It was only after we lost him that I realized he believed in me. He only wished I would believe in myself. Father's words have always been to me as a torch in the darkness, banishing the fearful shadows and illuminating the path ahead.
His flame burns in your heart.
And it is that flame that shall continue to light our path, all the way to the very end.
You have but to say the word.
It's getting full. Dion having like I have no idea. We'll find out.
What's on your mind, Clive?
I still can't believe you remember that day on Man's Hill.
So long.
Our lives have been defined by loss, but our memories, those no one can take. And if they truly are the only things we can hold on to, then I want more.
So when this is over...
Let's travel the world and make new ones, and I'll hoard them as a dragon does her gold, for my memories with you are the most precious of all.
Be strong, Clive.
It feels like a lifetime ago. It was a lifetime ago. That afternoon on Man's Hill was our very first adventure, but somehow I know even then that it will be not our last. I will never forget that day, and the simple fact that you have not either fills my heart with a joy so fierce I cannot describe it. Since the moment we first met, you have always been an important part of me, the half that makes me whole. When times are darkest, you're my light. When I'm lost, you're my guiding star. You're just what I need. You're all that I need. You're the greatest gift. Reluctant as I am to add to your burdens, I would ask your aid in a personal matter, albeit one that may be beneficial to your cause. There exist ancient texts deemed so injurious to modern thought that mere possession is indeed a crime, and it was a chance encounter with one such tome, from a distance, that sparked within me the scholastic curiosity which burns to this very day. I wish to enlist your aid in reclaiming that text. Should you require further incentive, know that I am willing to offer compensation for services rendered.
Something tells me this is no mere adventure story.
An inconvenient truth. It's probably something blasphemous, like maybe Grieger wasn't a good god.
Vivian, I read your note, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy. Are you sure?
Please. You have always granted me your wisdom and insight whenever I asked. It's only right that I return the favor. Or at least attempt to.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is rather more trying than delivering the odd lecture. I spoke with Hippocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found, but perhaps it is best that you hear the details from him.
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, for asking this of you. But this book, it set me on the path to becoming...
To be fair, now is the best time to ask, because you're asking the one person who can teleport across the whole country, the whole continent, willy-nilly, and no one's gonna stop me. I mean, now would be the perfect time to become looting bandits, but, you know, we're not going to go that way.
Ah, Clive, my boy. What a pleasure it is to see you.
Hippocrates. There's something I need to ask you. I've been charged with locating a book called From a Distance.
And you seek a rare gem indeed. One whose name I had not thought to hear from your lips. You've been talking to Vivian.
Right as always. But she didn't seem keen to tell me very much. I take it she didn't like what you had to say.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade her. Clive, if the young professor has tasked you with obtaining a copy, I fear she asks the impossible. The executors would not allow it.
The executors?
Coveters of Secrets. A clandestine organization committed to the collection and intenebration of forbidden texts and technologies.
Too bad.
One such text being the tome Vivian seeks, chronicling as it does
the true history of the enslavement of bearers.
I think we need that book more than
Which
anything.
could overturn the established order were it ever to become widely known. Or, so rumor has it. I've never actually read the thing, or even set eyes on it for that matter.
How is it that I haven't heard of this organization?
Why, secrecy is the Executor's watchword. They lurk in the shadows, emerging only to seize that which must be seized, be it books, inventions, or people, before disappearing again, leaving nary a trace.
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her grasp not long after she found it.
By the hand of the Executors, yes.
But what drives them? Self-interest or ideology?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is known of the Executors can be recounted in a single breath. You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the identities of their leaders. Any answer I give would be pure speculation.
My hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting?
You could.
That I'd pluck it from thin air?
Not from thin air, no. From ash.
That would make sense. Ash has been untouchable until now.
Rumors of the Executors are rife among the scholars of Storm, but rather less so across the strait. I have a friend. Well, I had a friend in the village of Garnick, a collector of rare tomes, upon which subject we would oft correspond. Alas, I have heard naught from him since the skies fell dark. And no doubt he too has turned. But though he did not mention it by name, it is possible that a surviving copy of From a Distance yet rests upon one of his many shelves, quietly awaiting discovery. If you were, by some chance, able to save even a single book from the poor man's library, I know his soul would rest easier.
Very well. When I next find myself in Waloed, I'll be sure to pay Garnick a visit.
Make for Garnick.
What can I do for my favorite nephew? Do you know why?
I chose to call the Trinity. You may be too young to remember, but this isn't the first time an alliance has been struck twixt the nations of Storm.
'Twas not 20 summers past.
That your father petitioned both the Empire and the Republic to join hands with the Duchy, that we might work to mutual advantage in defiance of the Blight. And they, for their part, embraced the notion, or so we believed. Little did we know that the peace Elwyn had worked so hard to secure would be ground beneath the heel of one we least suspected.
Your mother, the Duchess.
In one fell swoop, Annabella robbed us of everything. A nation, a leader, a brother, a father.
But above all...
She robbed us of what could have been, a realm undivided, Elwyn's grand design.
And so you see...
Well, I chose to call our new alliance the Trinity, for which with it, we aim to preserve not only peace, but a lasting legacy of cooperation.
We'll be fine, Clive.
There! At the video games! Over there at Garnick.
Faster!
What in the... That looks like a hunt! Behemoth King. Full party, let's go.
This is guard dogs. What a specimen of these two.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, my Xanthan took its style. Maelstrom. It's down! Take my beams. Woo! The hell? Right in the taint. Take that. Apocalypse. It's down! Now for a beam! I'll take all of that right now. Shackle and Urhakum.
No match for you, eh, Torgal?
And our 2 human companions.
The entire village looks abandoned.
I mean, I killed the things that were here before.
Which house would a bookworm live in?
Yoink. Free potion. Hell yeah. Box! In the wake of the tragic fire at Caer Norvent and the subsequent depletion of our most highly practiced intelligencers, all mainland strongholds were instructed to redouble training in clandestine maneuvers and
This is a Royal Army logbook. Did he take this from the local barracks?
But a complete botany of Banes.
His interests were certainly varied.
The Moogle. No spirit or sprite appears more often in Valesthian folktales than the humble Moogle. Though they are occasionally painted as mischievous souls akin to pixies or imps, most stories depict them as clumsy yet congenial spirits who delight in helping mankind with their daily labors. They are said to have sweet tooths, leading to the common superstition that one must not leave cakes or other sweetmeats uncovered overnight, lest not remain but crumbs come morning. In appearance, they are described as being covered head to toe in soft white fur, excepting the small dark wings by which they are somehow able to take flight, and the brightly colored pom-poms that protrude from the tops of their heads. And yet, there's one detail regarding the Moogle that most find more remarkable than even the orb that tops their brow. The fact that the creatures actually exist. Preposterous, I hear you cry. Everybody knows that Moogles are the stuff of legend. I quite agree, but every legend has its basis in truth, and in the case of the Moogle, the fact may not be so dissimilar to the fiction. Ancient bestiaries list the white mole whose feet do not touch the ground among the beasts of the realm. And the illustration besides the name? Why, it's none other than the Moogle. Of course, it is true that the creatures are not known to still survive in the twins in the modern day. Perhaps their miniature wings carry them to other climes. Perhaps they are hunted to extinction. Or perhaps, just perhaps, they do still live among us, hidden away far from human view. From a distance, the fall of the bears, the emergence of the first magic adepts was widely heralded as a gift from the gods. Indeed, the title of which those of the gift came commonly known as the likely contradiction of bearer of the heavenly blessing, the wording used by the tribunes of the time. Those born with the blessing were lauded as living crystals and granted high office and plentiful reward for their status as chosen ones. Over the years, the reverence for their kind would become a full-fledged religion led by the bears themselves, a development that would prove fateful. The diverse nations of the time were unanimous of the disapproval of the founding of the church, while the authorities had for years welcomed bears into positions of power in their own structures of state. They are mistrusting of an organization led by bears for bears. Efforts were immediately made to chasten the church and its followers, banning members from holding office, evicting adherents from their homes, and breaking up meetings by force. The church responded by forming a volunteer army to resist this persecution, and yet it continued, crafting a cycle of ever-increasing bloodshed and rancor, and a growing rift between those born with the blessing and those without. What began with beatings and street clashes would eventually spill over into an all-out war that consumed the greater of the part of the twins for nigh a generation, and decimated the population of men and bears both. The deluge of blood that stained the land crimson and left an even more lasting mark upon the minds of the Valestian people. After the Bears' last resistance was crushed, the nations of Valestia came together to sign a continental accord that initiated the system of slavery that persists across the realm to this day. Its well-known phrase, "Bears are other than human," has its roots in the bitter war of the years before, being the unblessed only excuse for the calamitous refusal to allow the blessed to decide their own destinies.
This is it. But if what it says is true, I need to get this back to the hideaway.
It's always been the religion. Oh, we're gonna get attacked by somebody. Hell yeah. We're gonna want that book back. Over your dead bodies. Oh, please be
Even
ninjas.
so soon, stranger. We've been watching you. From a distance, so to speak.
Subtle. I know who you are.
And we need not waste time on introductions. Hand me the book.
No.
Leave it in our care and return to your life.
No.
Your care? Do you mean to burn it or bury it?
That is not my decision to make. But by one means or another, its contents shall be removed from the common record.
Then I'll have to politely refuse.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kill you
I won't
instead.
let you erase our history.
Then we find ourselves at an impasse. Very well. The book can just as easily be pried from your dead hand.
Did you not see me fight the Behemoth King out front? No? It was a big to-do.
Shall we?
Plus, I have a full party. Thank you for charging my Zansetsuken. That'll save me for another fight. Nah, burn them books. It's like priorities are skewed, that's for sure.
Impressive. But we have other means. We shall claim the book yet.
Why do you want it so badly anyway?
Yeah, it's such a terrible
It lays
history.
out in no uncertain terms the vanity and avarice of mankind. It tells the shameful history of the persecution and oppression of a gifted few by a giftless many. Would you say that this interpretation was correct?
I don't know.
You don't know. Your sword may be sharp, but your wits are dull. So let me answer for you. There is no correct interpretation of history. That a series of events took place may be proved beyond a doubt. But there can be no single, immutable explanation as to why they came to pass. It is a question of numbers and of belief. If enough people believe that a set of events occurred for a reason, that belief becomes the truth.
So you're trying to control the truth?
We are trying to protect people from themselves, from knowledge that would bring them naught but pain. That is all.
But
keep the book.
But the pain's already happened. You're just
The world is
perpetuating
small.
constant pain without ever
Shall
trying to
meet
fix
again.
it.
Until then.
It's that's such self-indulgent tripe. If people found out the truth, they'd revolt. The world is literally ending because of our
Let's get this
terrible
back to Vivian.
racist slavery.
Perhaps she can explain what that was all about.
Like, what garbage. And who's to say that what they've done so far isn't also a catalyst for what's happened? Oh, they just don't want to admit it to themselves, the hypocrisy. Abaste.
Vivian. I found it. The book you lost.
Whatever you have, make sure to copy it immediately.
You found it. Thank you, Clive. Even though I asked this of you, I was not entirely sure it would be possible. I feared the executors had seized every copy.
I met with one of these executors, and I convinced him to let me keep it. He told me something. That the truth is just a matter of collective belief. And that if enough people believe a lie, that lie becomes the truth.
It does. But it also means that the truth is not immutable. That it can be changed. Provided that those who wish to change it can convince enough people that their perspective is the correct one. As the sad history of the bearers proves.
You said that the book inspired you to become a scholar.
It did. Or its author, rather. She was a heretic, you see. A firebrand and a dissenter. A gallows stood ready for her in every corner of the realm. And by shunning society, or perhaps being shunned by it, she stumbled upon a truth so potent that an entire realm trembled at the prospect of its utterance. I, too, have always felt somehow set apart from the world of men. A stranger to my own species. She taught me that my solitude was not a curse, but a gift. And that, though my journey to the truth might be a lonely one, what I found at my destination would be more than worth the cost.
Do you still feel that way? That you're not one of us?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure anymore. Since coming to the hideaway, I find my thinking somewhat clouded. Perhaps the result of studying mankind from a rather closer perspective than I had intended. But the more I study, the more I find value in this perspective. In looking not from the outside, but from within. So if you'll permit me, I'd like to continue my work here. Remember, Clive, when enough people believe, belief begets truth. Give the men and women of this benighted world the gift of truth. Make them believe in you.
To be fair, this hideaway is probably the safest spot to do anything.
Like, try.
It's the only place that's like thriving, and anyone can do secrets and all that jazz. It's the key of being an outlaw, you know? Scholar's bonnet.
Clive. Truth is but a matter of belief.
Though I am surprised to hear that an organization such as theirs holds such enlightened opinions, they put the scholars of the universe in Canver to shame.
Alas.
They shamed themselves in turn by bearing evidence of a truth they would rather mankind did not come to know. They may imagine themselves the protectors of the people, but ignorance is not bliss, no matter how fervently they might wish it.
Till next you need me.
Hey, Nectar. People still don't think you're real. What? Okay, there it is. Oh, that wasn't one of the three? Oh my goodness, these it was just a random S.
How may I help you today, Clive?
A new dawn. In the drunken galley captain I shared a table with last night to believe, word of your exploits has made its way across the seas to the great continent. What is more, she claims there are those who would see you flourish, herself being one such woman.
You earned this.
Every epic starts with a single word, every symphony a single note. But this is but the beginning, and forever shall your legend be told. Forever shall your legacy be sung.
Here you are.
Careful whisper. I think that's all the renown I need. I just did it all.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
Cool. What do Genji gloves do? Increases damage dealt to enemies by 5%. That's not nothing. Okay, I gotta go. Oh, do I still have a... I still have a letter quest? No! There's 2 quests out there in the world, and then there's 1 letter quest, and 3 hunts to do.
Still alive, are ya? Go on, then. It's rubbing me blind, you know.
Clive.
Here to say your goodbyes, are you?
Ta-ra, then.
For now, but you better come back, or I'll fly up there and drag you home by your ear.
Thank you, Karen.
Didn't think you'd find the thought appealing. Look, just don't die, alright? A change in leadership's bad for business. Aye, you're off to kill a god, so what? You've done everything else you've put your mind to, haven't you?
You could do this too. Take care.
If it can be solved with violence, we'll do it. Making amends. I am aware there are matters of such greater import which demand your attention, but should you find yourself a moment, I bid you visit me the shelves, that I might ask a single favor concerning His Highness Prince Dion. Aha! We got the quest you wanted!
It's usually me making demands of Hippocrates. I wonder what this is about.
Yeah, because I'm not... Right now, I'm not working towards my renown getting higher, because I think I'm at the max, but...
Sid, did you know that chocobos are far more resilient to the effects of ether than most other beasts? Some say that's one of the reasons they were tamed for use as mounts and summoners, so that an ether flood wouldn't mean instant death for their
I don't care.
drivers.
Lawsman Hippocrates. I received your note.
Ah, yes. I expect you're wondering what this is all about.
You spoke of making amends with Dion, but I can't imagine what for.
Then I should begin by telling you that I was once
Oh my.
his tutor. This was some years ago, of course, before I joined Sid in his hideaway. At that time, I was counted among the foremost scholars of Oriflamme, and was accordingly invited to the palace to supervise the young prince's education, all to ensure that the future emperor had a firm grounding in, well, everything an emperor should. History, religion, commerce, government. Alas, our time together was cut short when Dion left to join the Dragoons, his studies no longer being deemed necessary. I had not expected to meet with him again, least of all here.
Have you spoken with him?
No, I have yet to find the right moment. His Highness always seems so preoccupied, especially when alone. I would not wish to disturb his ruminations with idle words of greeting, not when I know he dwells upon the evil Ultima had him commit in the Dominion.
The guilt weighs heavily on him, I know. But as you say, that was Ultima's doing. Surely you can't blame yourself.
When I first met him, It was not guilt, but his people's expectations that weighed heavily upon him, and I did nothing to ease that burden. He bore it alone, until the day he could not bear it any longer. It is one of my greatest regrets, that I only ever offered him my wisdom, when what he truly needed was friendship. The blame for Dion's transgressions lies not only on his shoulders, but on mine.
I see. I'm ready to help you in any way that I can.
Then I beg that you bring me a wild wyvern tail.
Great.
Apothecaries across the ages agree that even to glimpse such a flower is to be granted inner solace. Fabulists and fraudsters all, of course. But there is oft a seed of truth
I like
to be
that term,
found, where
fabulists.
even the most outlandish opinions align.
Well, it can't hurt to try. Where can I find this flower? And how will I know it?
Someone who composes or relates fables. A liar, especially a person who invents elaborate,
Lily
dishonest
white
stories.
blossoms from whose roots the poisonous ink for the brand is distilled. Well, those which grow in the wild differ only in their purple hue. The harsher the environment in which they are raised, the deeper the color. There is a waterfall in Rickmal's roost across the strait, where the flowers once grew in abundance. Whether they still survive there, I know not. But try as I might, I can find no likelier location.
It's all right. I'll find you a wyvern tail one way or another.
Thank you, Clive. And please, be safe.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I see.
Ready, go?
Yeah!
Such a long bridge. Don't know what's an obstacle. What is it?
Seems this place has been flooded twice over. Thanks, Gal. Purple flowers blooming next to a waterfall. Shouldn't be too hard to find.
Waterfall would be a wall. Aha! A box! Destroy the flowers.
enough for a bunch, I suppose.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oarsman, I found the flowers you were looking for.
You did?
I think I did.
You did indeed. My dear boy, thank you.
You wanted to make Dion a gift of one, did you not? Shall I invite him to join us?
Oh, I don't...
It's no trouble. I'll go and fetch him. Your Highness, would you do me the honor of accompanying me?
No. It is time, then.
No. Only to the shelves. Our lawsman has something he'd like to give you.
Master Harpocrates. No. I dare not show my face before him. Not after everything I have done. I have taken countless innocent lives. And ruined countless more. All because I was weak. I have sworn to atone for my crimes or die in the attempt. But were I to meet with him again, and see in his eyes what I have become, I fear that my resolve might falter.
Then that is all the more reason to do it. Test your resolve. Prove to yourself, and to him, how strong it truly is.
You are right. I must, at the very least, offer him my gratitude. Very well, then. Take me to him.
Follow me.
Let's go.
Even now, I hesitate to approach him. What must he think of me?
You'd be surprised.
Master Harpocrates, pray, accept my apologies for leaving your tutelage before my studies were complete. Your lessons opened my mind to a world quite unlike the one I had imagined from within the gilded confines of the palace. And I shall be forever grateful for the efforts you made to enlighten me.
Lift up your head, Your Highness. The deeds of youth require no apology. That you took the time to visit me says much about the man you have become. Now, there is something I would like to show you.
Is that a wyvern tail?
color is unfamiliar to me.
Because it is unique to those found in the wild. Something in the harsh environments in which they grow lends them this striking hue. Their roots are indistinguishable from those of their hothouse cousins, but once they bloom, the difference is immediately apparent. In this flower, I see you, Your Highness. Its roots were the roots of a wyvern tail, with all that implies. But they do not define it, just as yours do not define you. I want you to have it, that it might remind you of this truth.
Master Harpocrates, I would ask of you a service. Keep your gift until I have fulfilled my duty to the realm, for only then shall I be deserving of it.
As you wish, Your Highness. I shall await your return.
Our roots do not define us. No wonder my stepmother didn't like him. For reuniting me with memories I had thought long lost. I shall not forget this.
Thank you, Clive. Were it not for you, I fear I might never have found the right moment to speak with him. Not to mention the wyvern tales. I shall plant their seeds, that I might not disappoint His Highness upon his return.
I hope the soil in the hideaway is to their liking.
Why, these flowers bloomed in the bleak, black wastes of Waloed. I'm sure Nigel's yard will suit them to a T. When it comes to expressing one's gratitude, I find that words are seldom sufficient. Here.
What's this?
A stolas quill. Or more precisely, my stolas quill. It is said that an owl's feathers are steeped in the wishes it hears over its long lifetime. All those words just waiting to pour out onto the page. So consider this my wish for you. That one day you may put down your sword and pick up that pen.
Well, when that day comes, I'll certainly have a lot to write about. Thank you, Harpocrates. It shall have pride of place in my chamber.
Oh my goodness. The quests just keep going. This better be a level. Yes. At the rate I'm going, I hope to get to level 50 before I even leave for it. Gigaflag cooldown by 6 seconds.
Good morrow to you, my friend. I have a few new notes that might interest you.
So close.
You wish to study the tomes?
Only the mysteries of the realm are left.
The door to the shelves shall ever be open. I was wondering when next you'd visit. I well recall
the time I spent at the Imperial Palace instructing the young prince on the history of our realm. He was quite unlike the other noble-born children I had taught, not only for the keenness with which he listened, but for the earnestness of his conviction.
He truly believed
That it was the Empire's duty to serve the people, and was determined to study the past that he might not repeat its mistakes. Which is the reason why what befell Twinside weighs so heavily on his soul. He must live with the consequences, and I fear it will take more than merely time to heal such wounds.
it will take forgiveness
Not from you or me, nor his countrymen, nor even from his late father, no.
from himself.
Only then might his flower bloom again.
Ah, yes.
You've arrived at a solution then. Dion curious.
Indeed.
A feat befitting the final act. I congratulate myself that I shall live long enough to see it, a feat in itself for a man of my years. But, to be serious, it is no small thing to march against fate, Clive. You must be certain of your footing, lest the winds of destiny divert you from your course. Are you certain of your footing, Clive? I am.
Then go.
Do what you must.
Go safely.
Okay, so there's no more letters. Right? Okay, no more letters with quests on them.
Ifrit, your resolve didn't falter. No. Though I continue to be bewildered by fate. But I should meet with my old tutor here. The very end of the world. I thank you. With all my heart. For giving me this chance. And I thank you for taking it. Should like to look upon that flower once more. When I am worthy. I stand ready to leave for Origin at your word. May Grieger go with us. And see us safely home.
Alright, that's it, everybody. I'm going to finish the stream here, and we're going to finish our side quest-a-thon tomorrow at about the same time, same place. We've got 2 to go, and then we're going to do 3 hunts, and then we're going to go there. So much to do. Alright, let's see who's online so I can rate them and give some numbers. Hope you're all having a good evening, and you know, I hope that the run-through has been fun with you so far. Oh, Nicole Goodnight's playing Haven. I think that's like a light novel sort of game, so we'll give them a raid. I hope you'll have a great night, and I'm gonna hit the raid button soon, and then we'll move over there. But until then, until tomorrow, we'll be back with more Final Fantasy 16. Brian will be playing some Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom later tonight, about 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, as a bit goal redeem. He's gonna be playing that one-handed, of course, and you know, hope you enjoy that. Yeah, I'm gonna hit the raid button. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe out there. Oh yeah, it's like an action game too. I'm gonna hit the raid button. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe out there. Work in your backlogs. Don't let them haunt you like ghosts. Make our end of month giveaway is for a copy of the Myst collection. So the Myst and a couple of other games associated in that series. So be sure to redeem points if you're interested in this very well-aged sort of light novel or exploration puzzle game. And I hope to see you all again tomorrow for some more Final Fantasy 16. It's been Michael from GXP Streams. We're rating Nicole Goodnight. See y'all later.